When Americans raise the flag on the island of Iwo Jima, exhausted Marines watch and cheer. Two of them will meet after the war.
Birthday, dear Jim. Happy birthday to you.
As Jim Blane turns 91, he never imagined he'd be here, speaking to a group at the Arvada Community Recreation Center for a Veterans Day salute.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. The Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, by air, President Roosevelt has just announced.
My parents, nor I, knew where Pearl Harbor was.
An Idaho kid, he'd never even seen the ocean. He was 17, a high school junior, when he became a Marine.
Out we go, over the side.
With the 4th Marine Division, he makes many beach landings in the South Pacific, battles he'll never forget.
Spread out, spread out.
What stands out the most is when you make your first landing and you see the first guy go down. He was shot right close to me, through the throat, through his spine. I couldn't help him. He was dead before he hit the ground. Now that is when you find out what war is all about.
And it's just begun. Arriving on a Higgins boat, he takes on the Japanese in the jungles of Saipan.
Many, many experiences there. I won't go into detail because there's too much blood and guts to talk about. The one that hits me the most is the way they treated those natives.
He watches as women like this are forced to commit suicide by jumping to their death. Now, with plenty of combat experience, Blane heads to Iwo Jima for the fiercest battle of all. Meanwhile, Don Whipple, a 17-year-old from a big family in Kansas who milks cows before school with his brothers, has joined the 5th Marine Division. He, too, has Iwo Jima in his sights.
It looked like a monster raising up out of the sea. And then we went up on the deck and we could watch them, the battleships just shelling it. And to see a battleship go off is unbelievable because it looks like just a complete atomic bomb blast that just took off. There's flame everywhere.
When the boat ramps drop, Whipple storms that black volcanic beach.
There were bullets and shells and fire on every side. The Marine kicks in with you and you get up and take off, and away we went.
He wouldn't get far.
I got hit with a mortar the first day.
Shrapnel pierces his leg. Rather than leave on a boat to the hospital, he ignores orders and stays to fight. Jim Blane, somewhere else on the island, is reacting the same way.
The motto of the Marine Corps is first to fight. We had a terrible slaughter that first day.
Jim helps pull bodies out of the surf so more boats can get to shore.
We want to get this damn war over with. We don't want to lose any more guys.
The flag raising a few days later gives them the momentum to keep fighting.
But the moment that the flag went up, all the ships in the harbor and everybody that had a noisemaker started all the sirens and the klaxons running, and we knew exactly what happened without even turning around.
Every morning when the sun would come up, you'd look out of your foxhole and look up there to see if the flag was still flying.
There is still more to do. The Japanese are hiding in caves, and on the 13th night, Jim Blane has guard duty. He spots the enemy and unloads his weapon.
And of course they fired back at me, and a shell went through my right foot. And as I went down, another one bounced off the top of my helmet and put a hole in it about 2 inches long, but it didn't hit me.
He's evacuated with 25 others.
But they were in baskets attached to the bulkhead of the airplane, and they were in casts from the top of their head all the way down to their feet. These were guys who had spinal or brain wounds.
Similar images haunt Don Whipple as he walks off that island after 36 days.
Japan surrenders. Japan surrenders.
just as America prepares to declare victory. And that brings them here, side by side in 2015. Each have families and settle in Colorado. They meet at the Legion Hall in Arvada in the 90s to talk about post-traumatic stress and their remarkable lives.
Just wearing this cap down the hall at the VA hospital or somewhere. It's amazing the number of people walk up and say, "Are you really there?" And
these guys were so amazing, the world needed to hear their stories as well.
Karen Barella, a Marine from Parker, Colorado, attends the same meetings and decides to write a book called More Than 36 Days. She now speaks with them at rec centers, Legion halls, and schools to praise their dedication.
They are willing to dredge up all those memories, those feelings, and share them with us and tell the world so that hopefully we can learn from them. And to me, that's the ultimate definition of sacrifice and courage.
Many who come to listen are veterans themselves.
When we landed, all of the crewmen, pilots and everybody went to downtown Denver. It's the first time I'd ever been in Denver. I was the only guy in a Marine Corps uniform in the whole city. And of course, the mall down there was just completely packed with the population. I think I kissed every girl in town. Right here, that's me.
Afterwards, there's a chance to shake hands, meet new friends, and say thanks. Two teenagers who grew up fast, survived a war, and share a moment forever part of our history, now share something much more with each other.
he's just been a good friend.
We have a Marine Corps bond. Once a Marine, always a Marine.